Hi there, this is Ranjit, and in this video we'll be doing the camera comparison between the Realme 2 Pro and the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Just last week I compared the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2's camera with the Samsung M20, and the Asus overall did better. But many of you have asked me to compare it with this Realme 2 Pro because in terms of specs actually they are very close to each other, and even in the pricing both are powered by the Snapdragon 660 SoC, but the cameras are a little bit different. I would say the Realme 2 Pro has slightly higher spec camera, 16 megapixel plus 2 at the rear, and even a 16 megapixel from the front facing camera, whereas the Zenfone Max Pro M2 is actually going with the 12 megapixel plus 5 for depth and actually a 13 megapixel front facing camera. But to be frank guys, specs don't matter. So what I did is during the last 3 days took a lot of samples actually side by side with both these devices, and I'm going to show you that so you can judge which one is a better camera-centric smartphone. So we have this Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2 on the left and the Realme 2 Pro on the right. And as you can see, both of them are actually doing a very good job in outdoor lighting conditions. As you can see, I don't see a much difference in lighting conditions, but when I took this of a sky, and the sky is actually better looking on the Realme 2 Pro. And again, this is also a sample shot here. Both of them look very close to each other, but when I zoom in 200%, notice the Zenfone picture is a lot sharper. Again, I like this, both look almost the same, but again when we zoom up, the Zenfone definitely has more sharpness. One thing I noticed when the sky is coming, I definitely prefer the picture of the Realme. The clouds color is produced better on the Realme, but again here is one more picture, and if you notice both of them actually look actually pretty good, but when we zoom in 200%, definitely the Zenfone is a lot sharper. Again, some sample shots, again I've noticed that the color of the sky is a little bit different in all these pictures. In this picture I definitely feel the Realme 2 Pro did better. Notice the background, it's not blown out. On the Zenfone it was blown out. Now some pictures of human subjects, how they behave, and the Zenfone definitely has more contrast compared to the picture taken with the Realme. And again this picture, and when we zoom in, notice that the Realme 2 picture, it's making my skin a little bit more soft. This is what I've noticed again and again in outdoor pictures. Again, if we zoom in, Realme is making my skin a little bit more soft, even though I have disabled all beauty mode and everything. This is what I'm noticing consistently. And again, this was taken in almost before sunset, and Realme is definitely making me a lot more whiter in evening conditions like this when the lighting is actually falling. So you might prefer that, as you can see. And these samples were taken with the front facing camera. Here I feel both of them are actually doing a good job in terms of front facing camera, and this was taken in the bokeh portrait mode with their front facing camera. Now moving to indoor lighting conditions, this one I've took, and when we zoom in 200%, we notice that the Zenfone picture is definitely sharper, but many people might prefer the picture that was coming with the Realme 2 Pro. And this is what I was noticing again and again in difficult indoor lighting conditions. The Realme picture on the face, it was brightening up the face quite a bit compared to the Zenfone in artificial lighting conditions. On the other hand, the Zenfone picture on the face was dark. Now these samples were taken with the front facing camera, and again the front facing camera on both of them actually are pretty good, but I feel the Realme is producing slightly sharper pictures than the Zenfone's front facing camera. Recording this with the front facing camera of this Realme 2 Pro, and as you can see this is in outdoor conditions. We'll also test it indoors later on. And as you can see guys, I'm just walking around to give you an idea how it handles exposure and stuff. This is in shadowed area. We'll just go in that bright sunny area. So this should give you an idea how is the video recording with the front facing camera of this Realme 2 Pro in a typical situation like vlogging and stuff. The audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. Recording this video with the front facing camera of this Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2, and as you can see I'm hand holding it, and the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. And I'm just moving between, this is the shadowed area. We'll also move to that sunny area to see how it handles exposure. And as you can see, this is in sunny area, and I'm just walking around to give you an idea how's the electronic image stabilization with this front facing camera of this Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. Recording this video with the Realme 2 Pro's rear facing camera, and again guys, I'm recording this outdoor in bright sunny area, and I've set it to 1080p. And as you can see, again I'm just walking around to give you an idea how is the stabilization on this phone. So you guys let me know what do you feel about the video recording with this Realme 2 Pro's rear facing camera. Recording this sample video with the Zenfone Max Pro M2, and as you can see, this is in bright outdoor condition. We'll also test it in indoor conditions later on, but I'm just walking around to give you an idea how's the stabilization. I've kept it to 1080p, and the audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. So you guys let me know what do you feel about the video recording with this Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2's rear facing camera. Shooting this video with the front facing camera of this Realme 2 Pro, again in artificial lighting conditions, and as you can see, one thing that I noticed immediately is that the vision is a lot wider with this Realme 2 Pro's front facing camera. Anyways guys, this is a sample video in artificial lighting with the Realme 2 Pro's front facing camera. Testing this one in artificial lighting conditions. This is the Asus Zenfone Max Pro M2. I'm just going to move around, and as you can see, this is artificial lighting conditions. So wanted to give you an idea how would perform in typical artificial lighting conditions like this. Audio is also being recorded via its internal microphone. So actually we got some very interesting results, and some of the results that I did not expect. And I feel overall, if I say, the rear facing camera is actually better on the Zenfone Max Pro M2, because we notice again and again the picture is a lot more sharper with better contrast on the Zenfone Max Pro M2. But when we move to the front facing camera, I definitely felt that the Realme 2 Pro actually did better. And even in video, the Realme 2 Pro's front facing camera did far better than the Zenfone Max Pro's front facing camera. The Zenfone Max Pro's M2's front facing camera is not bad. In fact, now it has even electronic image stabilization. But again, when the exposure was changing, it was having a very tough time. And I hope Asus fixes that with the future software update. But anyways, which smartphone do you think is having a better camera? Do let me know in the comment section down below. And guys, if you're still not subscribed to my YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button. This is Ranjit, and I hope to see you in my next video. Take care, guys.